Gentlemen, let me reveal something most men rarely comprehend. Contact isn't just about one or two actions. It's about recognizing the regions of a woman's body that evoke deep sentimental bonds, often long before any physical reaction appears. The truth is, most men only recognize a couple of these areas, if that. I've spent over 20 years as a relationship counselor working with partnerships across every phase of life, and today I want to present what I wish every man could grasp from the beginning. No fluff, no theories, no empty guarantees, just what analysis, neurology, and real-life experience consistently display. Curious. So let me ask you, do you truly comprehend where and how a woman desires to be caressed? I'm not talking about the prominent spots most men think of. I mean, the places that awaken her emotionally, the actions that make her feel validated before her body even responds. Many men tell me, I know my partner well, yet when asked this question, hesitation, quiet usually follows. Why? Because no one ever explained it correctly. There's no guidebook, and women, even when they experience these desires strongly, often express them quietly through stance, eyes, and tiny movements that most men miss completely. Today, I'll escort you through 7 vital regions, but recall, these aren't just physical spots, they're emotional portals. When you comprehend them and, more importantly, how to engage them, the way your partner responds can alter profoundly. Your hands can become far more than just hands. They can transform into a dialect of connection, a way to convey care without words. After more than 20 years working with couples, one trend keeps surfacing. Most men rely on intuition. They presume that caressing the right area instantly triggers pleasure. But for women, pleasure doesn't commence mechanically. It starts with emotional comfort. Many men believe they're doing the proper thing. Yet, from a woman's viewpoint, the contact often feels one-sided. You may have wondered why she doesn't react the way she used to, or why her feedback seems different over time. The reality is simple. What men take for granted rarely stirs real sentiment for women. Women react to purpose, mindfulness, and engagement. When she detects that you genuinely care with your whole soul, her body naturally complies. But here's the complex part. Women rarely dictate their needs, they exhibit them. One patient once told me, "Don't touch me just to touch me. Let me feel that you're truly present first." That statement perfectly mirrors what so many women feel. This isn't about physical contact alone, it's about unlocking a psychological pathway first. Zone 1 is the hands. Many men disregard them, but a woman's hands are deeply linked to her emotional realm, gripping them slowly, tracing her fingers softly, applying gentle force to the palm. These minor movements can make her feel truly acknowledged and validated. In my work, I've observed that couples who continue holding hands, even after decades together, sustain a stronger emotional link. It's no fluke. Hand contact discharges oxytocin, the molecule of trust and proximity. One detail men frequently overlook is vital. Ignoring her hands can spoil the moment entirely. Clean, warm, well-groomed hands can make a massive difference in connection and closeness. Zone 2 is the back of the neck. Right at the hairline, strain often collects without her even noticing it. A slow, gentle touch here without words, without demand, can help her body unwind and relax. This isn't about arousal, it's about reassurance and safety. I recall a man in his late 50s who had been feeling emotionally invisible in his marriage. One evening, without any motive, he softly rested his hand on his wife's neck as she gazed out the window. She hesitated, sighed, and turned toward him. That simple, silent gesture re-established a connection they had thought past. Zone 3 is the lower spine between the waist and hips. This zone conveys stability. Resting your hands there gently without gripping or restricting states, "I'm here, you're secure, and you're free." It's a gesture that functions beautifully in everyday moments. Morning routines, quiet kitchens, simple embraces from behind. Zone 4 is behind the ear, just below the jawline. Extremely sensitive. It's only reachable when trust is present. Soft warmth, not pressure, opens it. One woman shared that this contact didn't make her feel desired. It made her feel genuinely cherished. For many women, that feeling of being cherished arrives before desire. Zone 5, between the shoulder blades, is frequently forgotten. Psychologically, it signals protection. a place she can't view herself. A gentle hand there comforts her, quietens her nervous system, and calms her mind. It's not sexual, and that's why it's so potent. Zone 6, the inner thighs near the knees, demands clarity. This is an intimate contact. It's a transitional space, near yet respectful, evocative yet safe. Handled slowly, it signals, "I'm close and I respect your pace." Many men skip this stage, discarding emotional trust along the way. Zone 7 is the lower belly around the navel, and for many men, this one comes as a shock. This area rests at the junction of intuition and sentiment, and it requires complete honesty. When you rest your hand here slowly and warmly, as if holding something fragile, you're not just touching skin, you're respecting her inner realm. Granting this kind of touch is her way of opening herself up emotionally, providing trust beyond the physical. These regions function because women respond to touch through sentiment and neurological pathways, not just physical touch. Evidence shows the skin in these zones is highly sensitive, and soft contact triggers oxytocin, the hormone that creates trust, connection, and emotional receptivity. These aren't erogenous zones. They are emotional sensors signaling you are secure here. The practical strategy is basic. Slow down. Observe her reactions. Use these touches naturally in routine moments. Be steady and remain fully engaged. One man recently shared, "I don't know what altered, but she felt closer." That's the core. Women may not name the alteration, but they feel it deeply. These 7 regions aren't buttons to press, they are doors to her feelings. Each touch with care and honesty conveys, "I see you, I respect you, you matter." That is what women truly crave. Not performance, not demand, but authentic bond. And it's never too late to begin. Sometimes a single thoughtful, heartfelt touch can open an entirely new era in your relationship. When we speak about bonding with a woman on a deeper plane, it's vital to recognize that touch is only part of the equation. What really signifies is the emotional and mental backdrop behind it. Women are hardwired to react to gestures that indicate care, mindfulness, and respect long before their bodies exhibit any physical response. It's not about velocity, power, or method. It's about presence. Every delicate movement, every soft touch conveys whether you are truly present with her or simply going through the routine. The way a hand delays on hers, the tenderness of a touch at the back of the neck, the warmth of a hand settling on her spine. These are all ways of stating, "I see you, I respect you, you're secure with me." Over time, these actions build trust and emotional closeness, sometimes more than dialogue ever could. Many men undervalue how much women perceive from these small deeds, and yet these moments often hold far more value than grand confessions or actions. It's about creating an atmosphere where she feels acknowledged, appreciated, and safe, and where her emotional world is recognized as much as her physical presence. Even standard moments, a quiet morning together, a shared cup of coffee, an embrace in the kitchen, turn into chances to fortify that bond when approached with mindfulness and care. It's also worth noting that women's reactions are delicate and layered. A soft sigh, a loosened stance, a quiet smile. They may seem minor, but they are her way of expressing comfort and emotional resonance. The science behind it proves that emotional touch triggers oxytocin, the chemical of trust and bonding, which strengthens emotional proximity in a way that physical appeal alone cannot. This is why partnerships that value this kind of attentive, purposeful touch tend to last longer, feel more aligned, and sustain a tier of intimacy that outlives stress, routine, and the march of time. Discovering these subtle prompts and replying with authentic presence is not just about enhancing intimacy, it's about forging a partnership anchored in respect, care, and emotional perception. When a man truly observes, hears with his hands as much as with his ears, and approaches his partner with honesty, he doesn't just elevate her pleasure, he fortifies the base of the bond itself. Over time, these minor, deliberate touches and actions become a dialect, a quiet but potent dialogue that conveys love, trust, and safety. It's a reminder that intimacy is far more than physical proximity. It's emotional alignment, it's connection, and it's the understanding that every deed matters. This method alters standard interactions into moments that expand love and understanding, proving that when a man invests in emotional presence, The bond he shares with his partner becomes deeper, more durable, and deeply satisfying. When we step back and look at the larger portrait, it becomes evident that these 7 regions are not just about physical touch, they are about awareness, presence, and emotional bond. Men often think intimacy is a sequence of actions or moves, but for women, it starts long before any physical reaction. It begins with safety, trust, and the realization that someone truly observes and respects them. Each of these zones, the hands, the back of the neck, the lower spine, behind the ears, the shoulder blades, the inner thighs, and the lower belly, is a portal to her emotional world. Embraced with honesty, patience, and care, they convey more than words ever could. Touch becomes a dialogue, a language without speech where every movement tells her, "I am here, I respect you, you matter." This is why many couples who master these basic yet profound ways of bonding report deeper intimacy, stronger emotional links, and restored closeness even after years together. The science is definitive. Science. Oxytocin, trust, and emotional receptivity are sparked not by method alone, but by the purpose behind the touch. Women feel it in delicate ways: the hesitation in her breath, the softening of her stance, the way she leans in even when she doesn't utter a word. These regions aren't formulas or shortcuts. They're doors that lead to authentic emotional presence. And the most vital reality is this: it's never too late to begin. Even one thoughtful, attentive touch can alter the mood of a relationship, open channels of trust, and rekindle emotional intimacy that may have been quiet for years. When men learn to approach these zones with care, respect, and sincere attention, they don't just touch a body, they touch a woman's heart, mind, and soul. That is the core of true connection, and it is far more potent, far more durable than anything physical alone can ever fulfill. So take this expertise, use it with intention, and observe how your presence, your patience, and your touch alter not just her reaction, but the very flow of your relationship itself. The route to closeness is not complex, but it demands mindfulness, honesty, and the desire to truly view her. When you do, you don't just form moments, you form a lifetime of connection.